Welcome. In this lesson, you're going to learn how to install Windows Server 2019 on a virtual computer. For this, in the previous video, we set up the initial settings for the virtual machine. So right now, we're going to be focusing. Right now, we'll be working on the second virtual machine. It's a server AD. I typed the name AD to remind myself that on this computer we're going to deploy the Active Directory and Domain Controller services and also the Printing Management Server. As a best practice, it's not recommended to install printing services with the AD services because it can compromise the security of your domain controller. However, for the sake of this lab, we're going to use a single server to install all the services needed for this practice. So the first step before continuing with the installation, you need to go into the settings, and then here in settings you need to create an optical drive in order for your system boot using the ISO that you already download for the Windows Server 2019. To do this, you gotta go to storage, and here you press this pound sign to add an optical drive. I'm looking for Windows Server 2019. I think this is, yes, this is the evaluation for this server. You choose this one, and then you leave it like this, live CD, click OK. So the next time the computer power on is going to boot automatically into this ISO. So let's do this. As you can see in my settings, I have NAT selected. We're going to go to the internet for some troubleshootings that we're going to do later, but let's start the computer. Okay, right now the computer is booting from the ISO. That in a physical server, it will be either your USB drive or a CD or DVD room. The installation is pretty straightforward as long as you have the knowledge of how to create partitions, which is a pretty easy step. We're going to select the standard version. This is an evaluation. You can go to Microsoft.com and then downloading this free ISO for 180 days for you. Instead of selecting upgrade, which caused some issues later, I'm going to select custom, and then creating a new partition. You just hit apply for the default settings, and then it will create automatically for you some partitions used for the system. This partition, you can't see it on your computer, but if you go to disk management, you are able to see this partition is hidden. So it's used for, files used by the operating system. And just click on next. This process is gonna take some minutes, and since I create this virtual computer with a lot of resources, it won't take too much. But I'm expecting to have this computer ready to go in the next 5 minutes. And I'm going to pause this video until the installation is completed. Then I'm going to resume the video so you can see how it looks like. So by default, Windows Server 2019 comes with the core version, meaning you don't have any graphical user interface enabled. However, you can manage the operating system either using your command prompt or using the PowerShell. So we're going to rename the server using the command line, and then we're going to look into some services before enabling the graphical interface. So now at this point, the installation is completed. And I don't know if you saw a little message here. It says, please press any key to boot from the CD or ISO. So in order to prevent this message and stop using the hard drive, the ISO anymore, you see this little icon like a donut here. Just make a right click and unmark the operating system for Windows Server. So this is going to remove the ISO from the optical drive, and then you won't see this message anymore. So right now all the basic services are starting. So this setup is similar to the one of Windows 10. The computer is gonna take some minutes to set it up. The first step, when the Windows Server 2019 is booting, it's asking you. So the default user to manage the server is administrator, and then you have a tiny message that says you must to change your current password, which by default you don't have anything, is none. So you hit OK, and then you need to type the new password. You hit enter to move to confirm section, and then you hit enter to confirm. So it says the administrator password just changed. Press OK. So right now it's applying the basic settings, and this is all the information that you have available right now. You have a core version, which means at this point you just have like a basic functionalities of the features and files for this server. This version, like core version, is very secure because you need to have knowledge of the PowerShell or CMD to access the majority of the servers of the services in it. You need to enable every single service that you need to use. So my host name is this, my IP address is this. Right now I have my computer to use the NAT settings. Yeah, NAT settings. Let me see if I have access to the internet. Yes, indeed, I have access to the internet.